Hey everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Ready to go beyond the usual beakers and Bunsen burners.
Yeah, let's get into it.
We're diving into how AI is changing the world of chemistry. It's like giving chemistry its own language upgrade.
Definitely. A turbocharged brain boost.
We'll be looking at two papers, one from Nature Communications and one from Nature.
Great sources.
And they show how large language models, or LLMs, are transforming
And
chemistry.
LLMs, yeah, you know them from ChatGPT.
But these are doing way more than check.
Oh, yeah. Designing experiments, analyzing data, a real revolution.
Like having a super smart lab partner doing the tough stuff and making discoveries with you.
So one of the papers introduces co-scientist.
Co-scientist.
It's basically a robot chemist, a computer in the lab calling the shots.
That's straight out of science fiction.
It uses different modules to handle experiments, like tools,
Okay.
It searches the web for info, like looking up a recipe,
I get.
writes code to control equipment, like the hands doing the work. And get this, it learns to use new equipment just by reading the manual.
No way. So it's not just pre-programmed, it's actually learning.
Exactly, adapting on the fly. They put it to the test, had it design and run two classic reactions.
Like what?
Suzuki and Sonogashira coupling reactions.
Okay.
These reactions are essential, building complex molecules, like connecting Legos.
So they're used to make new medicines, advanced materials, all that.
Totally. And it aced the test.
Because scientists passed.
Designed and ran both reactions perfectly, showing it can handle these fundamental reactions.
That's awesome. But the second paper, that's the one with the team of LLMs.
That's right. Instead of one solo chemist, it's a whole team, each with their own expertise.
Like a dream team of chemists.
You got it. Each with their own superpower combining to achieve something incredible.
I love that analogy.
So picture this. You have one agent. It's the literature scouter.
Okay.
That's the master researcher, digging through papers for the best method, like you're looking for the perfect recipe. Then you have the experiment designer and hardware executor,
Those are the...
the meticulous lab technicians, turning the recipe into the experiment, controlling everything.
It's like the chefs in the kitchen.
Exactly. But then you need to analyze the data from the experiment.
Right. What happens then?
That's where the spectrum analyzer and result interpreter come in.
Those are like...
Detectives. They analyze the data, figure out what products were made, how much, solving the chemical mystery.
Wow, the researcher, the technicians, and the detectives.
Yeah.
What case did this team tackle?
They focused on a reaction that turns alcohols into aldehydes.
Aldehydes? What are those?
Incredibly versatile. They make flavors, fragrances, and are essential for pharmaceuticals.
So, important stuff.
Absolutely. And they wanted to optimize this reaction, get the highest yield of that aldehyde product.
Like fine-tuning a recipe, getting the perfect balance.
You got it. So the literature scouter went first, scoured papers for the most efficient practical method.
Like a super-powered research assistant analyzing tons of info in no time.
It recommended using a copper-based catalyst and a special molecule called tempo.
Okay, why that method?
The paper highlighted its practicality, simple ingredients, no specialized equipment.
Oh, so it's accessible to more chemists.
That's the key, not just finding a method that works, but one that's efficient, cost-effective, and accessible.
Brilliant. But they need someone to actually run the experiment,
And
right?
Exactly. Enter the experiment designer and hardware executor.
Okay.
Carefully planning and running experiments, testing different conditions, meticulous chefs following the recipe.
Translating theory into practice, what did they find?
They found that in one case, the experiment designer suggested swapping a volatile solvent
Oh.
for a safer one, less likely to evaporate.
Oh, I see. So it's safer and easier for more chemists to do the experiment.
Exactly. Thinking beyond just the reaction, but also practicality and safety.
That's smart.
But then you have all this data from the experiment. Enter the data analysis team.
The detectives.
The spectrum analyzer and result interpreter. They examine the evidence, analyze the data, figure out what's there and how much.
Like forensic scientists, piecing together the chemical puzzle.
Precisely. The spectrum analyzer uses mass spectrometry data.
Wait, what's that?
It's like a chemical fingerprint, identifies the molecules in the mix.
Okay.
Super sensitive, detects tiny amounts of different chemicals.
So it can tell what was made and how much.
Exactly. And the result interpreter makes sense of it all.
Okay.
Summarizes the key findings, spots trends, helps understand what it all means.
Like having a colleague who not only crunches numbers, but explains what they mean. So we have AI that can plan, run, and analyze. Like a whole lab of super smart assistants.
That's the idea.
This is amazing, but I'm sure there's more to it.
Oh, absolutely. We're just getting started. This is just a peek into the potential of LLMs in chemistry, the beginning of a revolution.
It's mind-blowing, but how will this affect developing new medicines, materials, technologies? What about all that?
The possibilities are huge. Imagine AI accelerating drug discovery, faster treatments, or designing new materials, lighter, stronger, more sustainable, revolutionizing industries.
It's like a door to a whole new world of possibilities, breakthroughs happening faster than ever.
It really
But we're
is.
still early, right? There must be challenges.
Of course, these systems are still developing, lots to do to ensure they're reliable and safe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the progress, it's so promising.
Okay, so before we get into those challenges and the bigger picture, let's look closer at co-scientist, the AI chemist from the Nature paper.
Sounds good.
What really stood out about it?
One thing, its ability to use technical documentation. Seems small, but it's huge.
What do you mean?
It can teach itself how to use new equipment by just reading the instructions. That's a level of understanding we haven't seen before.
Wow, like reading a textbook and then building a machine based on what it learned?
Exactly. Huge implications. Means AI can easily integrate into labs and adapt to new tech as it appears.
It's like an AI chemist who's always learning the latest advancements, applying it to solve problems.
You got it's not rigid and inflexible like the old AI. These systems are adaptable and versatile.
Okay, so we see the benefits, faster research, making more accessible, but what about the downsides? Any risks or challenges we need to consider?
Well, one big one is job displacement.
Meaning,
As AI gets more sophisticated, doing tasks once done by humans, some jobs could be automated.
that's a valid concern, but hasn't tech throughout history always created new jobs, even while displacing old ones?
That's true. The key is adapting, developing skills that work with AI, not compete.
So not AI versus humans, but AI and humans working together.
Exactly, each bringing their strengths.
Makes sense. And you think AI will ultimately create more opportunities for chemists, not fewer?
I do. It'll free us from tedious tasks, let us focus on the creative, intellectual stuff.
It's like having an AI assistant do the grunt work while you focus on the big ideas, the breakthroughs.
Exactly. It'll make being a chemist more fulfilling and rewarding.
I agree. It's about finding the right balance where AI helps us, expands what we can do. But what about the potential for AI to make mistakes, to be misused?
Absolutely. That's why developing strong safety protocols and ethical guidelines is so crucial.
So we use it wisely.
Right. Approach it with excitement, but also caution. Recognize its potential, but also the risks.
Well said.
It really is like handing over the pipette to a robot, but this robot can think, learn, and even troubleshoot. Pretty wild.
It makes you wonder, if AI can handle experiments, what will human researchers even do?
I think it's a great time to be a chemist. AI won't replace us, it'll empower us.
Okay, how?
It's like a superpowered assistant taking care of all the boring, time-consuming tasks.
So human chemists can focus on the bigger picture.
You got it. Data crunching, fine-tuning experiments, even literature reviews, all automated.
So we can do what we do best.
Ask the big questions, design creative experiments, interpret results, the exciting stuff.
AI does the logistics, chemists are the strategists.
I like that. AI is the engine, we're the drivers, guiding the research toward those breakthroughs.
Instead of worrying about jobs, we should be thinking how AI can help us discover more.
Absolutely. Like with co-scientists, there's a really interesting example in the paper.
Oh, yeah.
They were making a molecule, and co-scientists realized, hey, we're missing a key ingredient.
Uh-oh, what did it do?
It didn't just stop, it took over. Searched the web, found a supplier, even wrote an email to order it.
Like, gotta order takeout, but for chemistry.
Exactly. It shows how autonomous and good at problem-solving these systems are becoming. They're thinking on their feet.
I'm starting to see why people are so excited. AI is pushing the boundaries.
Definitely.
Okay, let's get back to the team of LMs, the one from the other paper.
Okay, yeah.
What were some of the highlights from their work?
Their focus was on optimizing a reaction, turning alcohols into aldehydes.
Right, important for fragrances, medicines, all that.
Exactly. Each agent had a specific role in making that reaction as efficient as possible.
Like a well-coordinated team, everyone playing their part.
The literature scouter found the best method using a copper catalyst. Then the experiment designer and hardware executor got to work.
Testing different conditions, fine-tuning that recipe.
You got it. And then the spectrum analyzer and result interpreter analyzed the data.
To make sure everything was on track.
They discovered a specific combination that gave the best yield of the aldehyde product.
So really understanding the details, decoding how this reaction works.
Exactly. AI can analyze tons of data, find patterns, and extract those insights that we might miss.
It's like AI is boosting our abilities, letting us explore chemistry like never before. But this has to have implications beyond the lab, right? How will this affect the future of chemistry?
Well, one exciting possibility is democratizing chemistry research,
Democratizing.
making it more accessible. Traditionally, you needed specialized knowledge, expensive equipment, access to labs,
Right.
but with these AI systems, the barriers could be much lower.
I see. So more people can participate.
Imagine students using AI to run virtual experiments, citizen scientists contributing from home.
Wow, it's like taking a cutting-edge lab and putting it on everyone's computer.
Exactly, huge potential for education, innovation, and discovery.
I love that idea. Science becoming more accessible to everyone. But these systems are already making an impact in research labs, like cost scientists running those Suzuki and Sonogashira reactions.
Oh, yeah. Those are crucial in organic chemistry.
Why?
They create carbon bonds, the backbone of complex molecules. It's like connecting Legos to build elaborate structures.
So they're used to make all sorts of important molecules, from medicines to materials.
Exactly. And cost scientists figured out how to run them all on its own.
How?
It searched the web for info on the reactions, how they work, the best conditions, then wrote instructions for the equipment to make it happen.
It's like a chef who can read the recipe and cook the meal, all while keeping the kitchen clean.
Pretty impressive, right? The other LLM team focused on optimizing a reaction to make aldehydes.
We talked about that, the one for fragrances and medicines.
Yeah, optimizing a reaction is like trying to perfect a recipe. It's all about finding the best combination of ingredients and conditions to get the most product.
It sounds complicated.
It can be. But the AI can handle all that, running tons of mini experiments and analyzing the results.
You're like having a super efficient assistant, always testing and tweaking
And the experiment designer agent suggested switching to a safer solvent in one case.
to make it easier for more people to do the experiment.
Exactly. It's not just about the chemistry, but also safety and accessibility.
Very thoughtful. What other insights did they get?
They found a specific copper catalyst and a base that worked best, and even figured out how certain parts of the starting molecule could affect how well the reaction worked.
It's like they're learning the secret language of chemistry.
They are. And that's what's so powerful about these AI systems. They can find patterns and insights that we might miss.
So it's a partnership. AI helps us see things in new ways.
Exactly. But as we develop these systems, what do we need to focus on to make them even better?
It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Well, one thing is improving how accurately they can predict chemical reactions.
Like knowing what will happen before you even do the experiment.
Exactly. If we can teach AI to do that, we could simulate experiments without even stepping into a lab.
That's amazing. It's like a virtual lab where you can try out all sorts of ideas without worrying about explosions or toxic chemicals.
You got it. And large language models are perfect for this. We can train them on huge amounts of chemical information.
So they learn the rules of the game.
Right. And not only predict reactions, but also design them, suggest new ways to do things, find new catalysts, optimize conditions.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like they're writing the next chapter in the chemistry book.
Exactly. Another area is automating lab tasks.
Beyond what the hardware executor already does.
Yes. Imagine AI synthesizing molecules, purifying them, even analyzing their properties.
So like a team of robot lab assistants doing all the routine work.
Exactly. It would make research faster, more efficient, and safer.
But if AI does all the lab work, what happens to human chemists? Will we all be out of a job?
That's a valid question. We need to think about that carefully.
Yeah.
But I believe AI will augment our skills, not replace us.
Like calculators didn't make mathematicians obsolete.
Precisely. AI can do the repetitive stuff, analyze data, suggest ideas, but we're the ones asking the questions, interpreting results, making the big decisions.
That's a partnership.
Yes, and it has incredible potential, not just for chemistry, but for solving some of humanity's biggest challenges, like new medicines and sustainable energy.
It's really exciting to see where this is all going.
It is. One cool thing is these systems aren't limited to just chemical data.
What do you mean?
They can analyze images, text, even audio.
Oh, wow. Like giving them super senses.
They can look at microscopic images, read papers, even listen to reactions to see how they're going.
Amazing. Real chemical detectives.
And they learn and adapt as they get more data and experience.
So they get smarter over time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But how do we make sure they learn the right things, avoid biases and mistakes?
That's important. We don't want a rogue AI chemist running amok.
We need to be careful about what data we use to train them, make sure it's diverse and accurate. And we need ways to monitor their learning and correct any errors.
Like we're their teachers, guiding them along the right path.
Precisely. We need to make sure AI aligns with our values and goals, that it benefits humanity.
Okay, that makes sense. So, lots of potential, but also challenges. What are some of the biggest hurdles for AI in chemistry?
One is understanding how AI models work, their interpretability.
Meaning,
They make great predictions, but we don't always know how they get there.
it's like a black box, just spitting out answers.
That can be a problem, especially in chemistry, where safety is so important.
Yeah, you want to trust your tools,
Researchers are working on making AI models more transparent so we can see how they're thinking.
so we can understand and trust them more.
Exactly. Another challenge is the need for lots of data to train these systems.
But we have so much data these days.
True, but chemistry data can be complex and messy.
I can imagine.
It's not just about quantity, but quality. It needs to be clean, consistent, properly labeled.
It's like prepping ingredients for a gourmet meal
Exactly. It takes both chemists and computer scientists working together.
to feed the AI the right stuff.
Right. And we need to talk about how to use AI ethically, how to make sure it benefits everyone.
Not just scientists, but everyone.
We need to have these conversations involve scientists, policymakers, the public.
It's about how AI affects society as a whole.
Exactly. And we need to educate ourselves about AI, how it works, what it can do.
Knowledge is power. But let's get back to those research papers. Cost scientists used its web search to find information and even order chemicals.
It did, like when it was running a reaction and noticed the yield was low.
What's yield?
It's how much product you get from a reaction.
Oh, okay.
So cost scientists searched the web for similar reactions, found some troubleshooting tips, adjusted the conditions, and got a better yield.
It's like having Google in the lab.
Exactly. Or when it needed a chemical it didn't have, it found a supplier and wrote an email to order it.
That's incredible, like a self-sufficient chemist. What about the LLM team? What did they do?
They optimized a reaction to make aldehydes.
Right, the fragrances and medicines,
They used a team of specialized agents, each with a specific role.
like an AI dream team. What did each one do?
Well, we have the literature scouter, finding the best recipe, the experiment designer and hardware executor running the experiments, and the spectrum analyzer and result interpreter analyzing the result.
A well-oiled machine.
And that's one of the coolest things about this research, showing how AI can make research more efficient and collaborative.
And it's not just about efficiency, it's about new discoveries too, right?
Of course, AI can analyze huge amounts of data, find patterns we might miss, suggest new ideas.
Like a super smart research partner helping us think outside the box.
Exactly. But we need to remember these are still tools,
Right?
powerful tools, but they can be misused.
We need to be responsible.
We need to talk about the ethics of AI, make sure it's used for good.
It's a big responsibility.
It is. But for now, let's focus on the positive, the amazing things these systems can do.
Okay, sounds good. Let's talk about that one point from the Nature paper about cost scientists using the cloud lab.
The Clouds Lab.
Yeah, what is that and why is it important?
A cloud lab is like a remote-controlled lab. You can do experiments from anywhere in the world, like having a virtual lab.
It's like having a virtual lab at your fingertips. You can control everything, run experiments, analyze data, all from your computer, no matter where you are.
It is. It opens up so many possibilities for research and collaboration.
Scientists can share resources and expertise no matter where they are.
Exactly. And the fact that cost scientists can use both liquid handlers and cloud labs shows how flexible these AI systems are becoming.
It's like chemistry is becoming more accessible and collaborative than ever before.
Exactly. Just one example of how AI is changing the field.
So we've seen how sophisticated these systems are becoming, but what are their limits? What do they still struggle with?
One thing is understanding really complex chemical concepts, like how reactions work at a molecular level.
Oh, I see.
They're great at processing data and finding patterns, but they don't have the deep understanding that comes from years of studying chemistry.
It's like they're still learning the language, they know the words, but not all the subtle meanings.
That's a great way to put it. And that's why human chemists are still so important. We can provide the guidance and expertise that AI lacks.
It's a good reminder that AI is a tool, not a replacement for human intelligence.
Right.
But as these AI systems learn and evolve, do you think they'll ever be able to make groundbreaking discoveries on their own?
That's a tough question. It's definitely possible.
How so?
Well, they can analyze data in ways that we can't, they don't have the same biases and assumptions.
So they might see things we miss, make connections we wouldn't even think of,
Exactly. But even if they can, I think the most important discoveries will still come from humans and AI working together.
combining the best of both worlds.
Right. Each bringing their own unique strengths to the table.
A powerful partnership.
Definitely. It's an exciting future.
Okay, so we've explored how AI is changing chemistry, designing experiments, analyzing data, even learning from instructions.
We've seen how these systems are pushing the boundaries and leading to faster scientific discovery.
It's been an amazing journey through these two research papers.
It's clear that AI is going to be a huge part of chemistry in the years to come.
Before we go, I just want to remind everyone that the links to both papers are in the show notes.
So you can check them out for yourself.
And if you're interested in AI and chemistry, keep exploring. There's so much cool stuff happening right now.
It's only going to get more exciting from here.
So keep learning and asking questions, everyone.
And until next time, happy diving.
See you soon.